Hey everybody, Konac here for Lightspeed-saber League, the world's fastest light-based fencing. And on today's video, I'd like to talk to you about equipment. I want to make sure that you are properly protected, make sure you have everything that you need to start Lightspeed-saber fencing, and eventually to start your own club if you haven't started one already, okay? So we've got big things happening for Lightspeed, and I want you to be part of it. But you've got to be safe first. So let's talk about the 4 essential pieces of equipment that you're going to need to do Lightspeed-saber fencing. And we'll start with the most important of all, which is your head protection. So this is a basic blue Gauntlet fencing mask. Okay, it is rated at 400 newtons right there. These actually come as low as 350 newtons, and they go as high as 1,000 at the international competitive level. Now, they do get more expensive the higher the force rating you go. Thankfully, you can actually get away with the lowest rating, which is 350. So you'll be fine with one of those, okay? And those usually retail for about 50 bucks, I think, online. I believe that is different for TSL though. So if you're doing any heavy grade sparring, then you're gonna want something a little bit higher. I believe TSL goes as high as like 500 or 600 or something like that, because heavy grade polycarbonate will cave these in, okay? For Lightspeed, the 3/4 inch blade, you're gonna be okay, all right? So 350 is okay. All right, last thing you wanna talk about for this is make sure you have the right weapon class of mask. Actually, I shouldn't say the right weapon class, but the most economical weapon class for your mask. These come in 3 different weapon types, either saber, foil, or epee. This is an epee mask. It has no metallic bib on it, which foil does, and it's neither is it fully metallicized, such as a saber mask would be. Okay, all the metallics will increase the cost of your mask, and obviously it's not going to add any extra protection for you. Okay, so your ideal is to look for an epee mask, which has no metallic bib whatsoever. It's also called a 3-weapon mask or a practice mask because it is fine for non-electric fencing. So that is it for the mask. Now let's talk about gloves. All right, the next most important part of your safety kit. Let's first look at a really basic glove. This is an STX K18. The important part about this is that it has a inside wrist enclosure. Okay, so there's my wrist there, and this has an enclosure for the wrist. Okay, so this will actually protect my wrist. Obviously there's a space here, and obviously it's not the best, but for now this is legal. That could change though, so I do recommend finding better gloves if possible. This is a Warrior Burn Next, and this one has no inside wrist enclosure whatsoever. Okay, these are not legal anymore. All right, we're not allowing these gloves. And let me show you a good example of a really nice glove. These are my personal favorites, the Easton Stealths. They don't make these anymore actually, which is why I bought all of them. So this glove is like a tank. It's pre-curved, so you know it's a little bit less strenuous on you. If you like spinning and flourishing, it's significantly harder. It's still doable, but it's tough. The most important part here is that it has a pull string here, and once I do that, it closes on my wrist there. And I can wrap this around, and I am all good. All right, I'm very, very safe in these gloves. So if you see these online for less than like 90 bucks, I recommend you grab them right away. Also, when you're buying your gloves, sometimes you'll see them listed as beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Try to buy gloves that are intermediate at the very least, okay? Or for teens and up. So the way lacrosse gloves are done, the softer the padding is, the more flexible they are, so they consider those beginner gloves because they're easier to use, okay? They're easier to manipulate, and they assume a lower level of competitiveness, all right? I don't allow beginner gloves anymore in our general practice, especially at the academy. I don't buy beginner gloves anymore. So if you're buying gloves, I highly recommend that they retail for at least $49, okay? If you get them on sale, obviously that's perfectly fine, that is great, go for it. But it should retail for at least $49, and it should be rated for intermediates and above, so intermediate, advanced, teens, and adults, etc., okay, something like that. All right, so now we'll go on to the arm and elbow guards, okay? So here's a combined arm and elbow guard. It'll protect your elbows and the arms right here. So this is a pretty good option. Not terribly expensive. My personal favorites are the Mcdavid Guards of any kind. They're kind of a flexible honeycomb shape, And they're a little more expensive, but for how flexible and long-lasting they are, I think they are an excellent investment. So if you're the type of person that hates these kinds of things, that it really binds you up and gets you uncomfortable, try some Mcdavids. They're really, really good. A little more expensive, like I said, but I think they're worth it, all right? And finally, what I consider safety equipment is your Lightspeed blade, okay? So this is a 3/4 inch blade at 36 inches long exposed. And this will break when struck hard enough, and if it hits the body, it's going to bend. It's not going to transfer all the energy directly into you. Now, these do tend to sting more than a heavier grade does because all that damage is transferred right to the surface of the skin, okay? So you get bruises and welts and stuff like that, but you're not going to break your bones, or at least it's very unlikely. Obviously, barring the fine bones in your hands if you're not wearing the right kinds of gloves or headgear, okay? But in general, for the overall body, a lot less likely to cause any major permanent damage. And if you're going to use this one, you have to make sure you have an adapter. Okay, so this is a 1-inch adapter here. It'll make sure that you can plug this into any 1-inch hilt. Okay, so let's have a look at that right there. Okay, and we sell these on the website, and we also sell the blades on our website as well. Alright, so that's your 4th piece of safety equipment, and we do technically have a 5th one, which people don't really think about, but we do require shoes, okay, because the tips of the toes do count as target, so make sure you're wearing closed-toed shoes. Okay, so that is pretty much it for safety equipment. We'll talk about next time what you're going to do with this, okay? It is not traditional sword combat. It is in many ways really just a really long knife, okay? So it's fast. You don't really block knives, right? You can, okay, but it's tough and it takes practice, and it's going to take some information which I'm going to share with you in the next video so that you are not going to be so frustrated when you can't seem to do what you want to do with this. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. You can also go to our website and contact us, and we will help you out as much as we can, all right? This has been Konac Snow for Lightspeed-saber League. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, Konac Snow here. Just want to thank you for watching our video, and to remind you to always do Lightspeed-saber fencing with the proper equipment. Now, I'm not just talking fencing gloves and a mask, I'm also talking the Lightspeed blade. You can get these along with shirts, jackets, and patches at lightspeed-saber.com. There you'll also find our competition rules, techniques, and a fighter map showing affiliated clubs and schools and individuals near you, so you can add yourself to the map and get together with others and form your own training base. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for your support.